2 months ago, I've released my thoughts on the first Xenoblade X trailer, where I've blurred Xenosaga's chaos in regards to the mysterious person in the DLC. I only had a hunch after all, seeing how some people were saying he was Malus or something. And personally, I didn't buy that, because I thought if X is gonna connect to something, it should be Xenosaga, evidenced by the Future Redeemed radio, which sprinkled in a combination of X and Saga lore, not just X or not just Saga. So what if X was a parallel universe within Xenosaga where Klaus didn't press that button that day, the Earth stayed intact, and aliens invade and destroy the world? Just as the beginning cutscene of X shows. And in this new trailer, we see the mysterious person to have the exact same hair color as Chaos. 2 games, 2 separate storylines, but maybe one connection. After all, Future Redeemed already connects to Saga with an explicit Dmitry Yuriev name drop. You can't get any more obvious than that. Can Xenoblade Chronicles X be a parallel universe to Saga, and if so, how would the timeline even work? As some of you guys know, I have not played Xenoblade X yet, so everything I'm about to say going forward is probably wrong. But hey, what if it's not? We can all go back to this video after rolling the credits on X and make fun of me later. Now, I'm personally excited to dive in for the first time on March 20th, or I might wait for Switch 2 to experience the true definitive edition whenever it may release. But according to leaks, April is very likely. 4K 60 FPS Mira. Think about that. Make it happen, Nintendo. While I have not played X yet, I do have a Xenosaga background, and looking at the timeline, the AD stands for Anno Domini, which is Latin for in the year of the Lord. It is a way of counting years based on the estimated birth of Jesus Christ. Now, if we look at the title of the trailer, it says the year is 2054. AD 2054 is a year that Xenosaga Universe doesn't strictly talk about, but at least alludes to. Looking at the timeline, it is possible that this is when, exactly when, Klaus's experiment happened on the parallel timeline. After all, it's still before the TC calendar, Transcend Christ, which not only Saga uses after the experiment, but even Xenogears. In AD 2010 Xenogears, the Immigration into Outer Space plan as a project with a scale that encompasses the entire world is executed. Aiming to start the immigration 15 years later, the Parliament is founded as the Organization for its administration. The name of the calendar is changed to TC, Transcend Christ in short, with single years until then, 365 days being established 1 star cluster standard year. Now, from what I'm seeing in X, we're trying to turn Mira into humanity's new home. One of the inklings of this sentiment, maybe. Humanity will continue to expand further into space for another 500 years in this timeline, or at least according to this timeline, culminating in a parliament eventually, which will predate the TC calendar that Xenoblade X does not use still. This is something I assume we might see in Xenoblade X2 or X3, the sequel. But on this year, on this date, while the world was lost to space transition event in Saga with Klaus's experiments, it was destroyed by aliens in X on this parallel universe simultaneously. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna tell me how this theory is impossible because there are no aliens in Xenosaga's world building. Well, that is true. But why do you assume a parallel universe works within the exact perimeters of the original? This world of X might have branched on its own way a long time ago with its own evolutionary blueprint. There is no such thing as an original universe actually. parallel Xenoverses are all legit. They all coexist simultaneously, parallel to each other. At least, that's the theory. The Xenoblade trilogy is only a bit of an exception to this because due to the space transition event, time actually flows a bit differently. So while connected, these universes are all self-contained still. Xenosaga trilogy may not have aliens per se, but the X timeline still might have. Humanity might have contacted aliens in some way that did not happen in Saga's world. This is called the butterfly effect in chaos theory. Even the most inconsequential of differences within causes can lead to radically altered results. And speaking of which, I propose the white-haired fella in this shot to be Chaos from Xenosaga, as we don't know what he was up to exactly over the time frame before the TC calendar and around the time Lost Jerusalem was sealed, assuming it is the same year 2054 as X suggests. My theory is this regarding the Black Knight. What if Chaos somehow jumped into X's parallel universe to help our protagonists on Mira? Now, I don't know why he would do that, because I haven't even played X yet, but what if Chaos comes here to protect the world?
People still need me. Humanity still needs me.
And then jumps back to his Xenosaga world. Or maybe this white-haired Black Knight is Logos, equivalent of Chaos from Xenosaga. What if they have the exact same function? And if at the end of this DLC, this white-haired character goes to another world or something, it would only strengthen the idea that Chaos is going back to Xenosaga's world after doing whatever he'll do in this game. So if that ever happens, I would have called it without even playing the game. Now, looking at the combat, I'm really glad I can get rid of this annoying tutorial on the right side because it uses a lot of space and looks kind of distracting. Other than that, I love the fact that everything is readable. The text seems bigger, which is important to me because when I get my Nintendo Switch 2, I'm literally gonna lay on my couch. And on that 8-inch screen, I want to do some side quests, kill some tyrants, and explore this world of Mira. Maybe it's just me these days, but sitting on a computer to play a 200-hour-long RPG doesn't feel so appealing to me anymore. The handheld, at least sometimes, allows me to play a game more than usual due to the convenience and options. Not being shackled to my chair is going to be really good when it comes to Xenoblade X. Now, I can't quite comment on exactly what's happening right now in terms of gameplay, but I have heard that X has the best gameplay in the series, which I'm excited to learn more about. I personally think, at least out of the trilogy, Xenoblade 3 has the best combat overall. The chain attacks are a little bit too long, but since it's more complex and more multi-layered compared to 2 and 1, I do kinda give the edge to 3, because you can also change characters on the fly. Now, one thing X is so much better at, compared to the numbered trilogy, is the graphics, the world. I still do not understand why Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is not open world. I'm not talking about boundless areas, as Nintendo was trying to market Xenoblade 3. I want a big open world I can explore. It's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed Gar Plains in Xenoblade 1. It was big, it was wide, it was curiosity-inducing. Now, the remaster from Nintendo Wii U to Switch may not be generation-defining per se, but I don't think it has to be. X is already such a technical marvel that I'm shocked that this even runs at 30 FPS on Nintendo Wii U, because it looks like straight up 720p newly released PS5 JRPG. You better believe that I'm gonna release videos on X going forward, lore videos, and as I sort of alluded to in my philosophy of Xenoblade 3 analysis, I have a tendency to enjoy narratives where there are spaces in between, where the developers are not spoon-feeding the lore or the world building to my face. There are gaps where I can interpret the context a little bit differently, which is ultimately how the philosophy of Xenoblade 3 analysis came to be. While I do not expect that sort of narrative at all from X, I do expect a world where I can dig into with the enemy encyclopedia, or looking at the architecture, or looking at a scene and try to make sense of the history of this world. Similar to the Souls games in Elden Ring. You will be hearing a lot from me when I roll the credits on Xenoblade X. More videos are coming along with my current Xenoblade 3 analysis, which I want to give you a sneak peek right now. Arriving this week. Future Redeemed, also known as the best DLC ever made, along with the entire Xenoblade trilogy, will be analyzed in 7 days with this video. It will be my most ambitious work to date, but before you leave, make sure to watch the Nietzsche Xenoblade 3 analysis right here. That's it for me today, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.